All right, hi everybody, and hi to my mom's fourth grade class, Mrs. Fechner, and the fourth graders, St. Andrews and Park Ridge, and Holly is her student teacher, and the fourth graders sent us all these questions. I am my mom's oldest son. I'm now 30 years old, and do you know how old that makes my mom? 29. It's incredible. We're here at WQAD in the TV studios, and we'll show some video around that in a while, but this is Cassie Hyder. She's one of the meteorologists here at Channel 8.
Hello, everyone.
She loves her job.
Yes.
And Cassie is from Kentucky, and now she's living here in the Quad Cities, so Cassie's going to answer all these phenomenal weather questions that you guys sent in.
The best that I can, yes.
And the best questions she has ever seen. All right, so question number one is, how accurate are the radars?
They're pretty accurate. They're a live view, so I think they're pretty accurate.
Any time where the radars have showed something that didn't really...
Well, sure, sometimes you get ground clutter and it looks like there's some fuzzy stuff on the radar. However, it's just taller buildings that it's picking up, really.
I know all about fuzzy stuff. Is the weather hard to predict?
It is. Sometimes it can be tricky. It's definitely, if there's storms coming along, it can be a little tricky depending on how or when the storms are going to get here and exactly what they're going to do.
Now, this is your first. This has been your first winter in the Midwest.
Yes.
Have you seen the most extreme weather here, or have you seen it before in Kentucky or Indiana, wherever you've been?
I think I've only been here for a couple of seasons, so I think the winter was pretty tricky. It was pretty extreme, I guess, to me, because we did see a lot of snow. We don't get quite as much snow in Kentucky, and the temperatures don't get that cold either.
We'll show this a little bit. You on the green screen. One of the questions is, how do you read the maps that they show on TV during the weather report? How are you able to do that? That's pretty tricky stuff. It's kind of magic.
Yeah, but I've actually been training for a few years now, so I've got it pretty down pat. We actually have TVs on either side of us and in front of us, so you actually are looking at yourself, and you can actually see the map behind you, so it makes it pretty easy.
How long does it take for you to figure out how bad a storm could be?
How long does it take me to figure out how bad a storm could be?
You're pretty good at this. You got this down to a science, I think.
Well, I guess we look at our radars, and depending on what the radar is saying, that's what we know. And if we can also look at what has happened in the past few hours at other stations.
Have there ever been any tsunamis in the USA? I'm sure.
I'm sure there's got to be.
There have been. Have you reported on any hurricanes yet? No, we're going into hurricane season now. This is like your Super Bowl now. The spring we get some real bad weather here in the Quad Cities.
Right, well obviously we don't get hurricanes here, but we can see the effects of hurricanes, like we can see lots of rain from the effect of the hurricane from down south.
So here come the tornado. This is tornado season now.
Right.
Gotcha. How warm does it get in Alaska? Pretty warm?
I would assume so.
Pretty warm,
yeah.
Pretty warm in Alaska. How big could hail get?
I think it can get pretty big.
Like baseball size?
Like baseball size, really? It could be a couple inches, I'm sure.
That's a good question there. How long can an earthquake last?
A few seconds.
A few seconds, that's a good answer. And how big is the eye of a hurricane?
Pretty big.
Pretty big.
Yeah.
Another good answer. All right, now, so the way that Holly broke this down, we've got some weather questions and then we've got personal questions here. So we're going to get a little personal on you, Cassie. Do you ever feel nervous before you go on air?
I do. Sometimes I do get nervous, especially when I first started. I used to get very nervous before going on air.
This is a good one here. How do you memorize your lines? A lot of people think you've got this all memorized, but not so much.
No, you don't memorize it. It's all ad-lib. You just go with the flow. You're basically looking at a PowerPoint presentation when you do the weather, so it kind of helps to guide you along.
Look at you, a real pro. How many segments do you shoot a day? How many have you done today? A lot.
I've actually done about 4 segments, 4 or 5.
And for both Channel 8 and then the Weather Channel as well.
Right. Yes.
How did you become a weatherman or weatherwoman?
How did I do that? Well, I became interested in weather when I was in high school, so I went to college. I studied weather and broadcasting, and I really enjoyed it, so I just took it along, got an internship, and it got me here.
Do you like science a lot?
I do like science a lot. I think it's very interesting. I like to know how things work, and so that's why I like science.
See, kids study science in my mom's class, and you could be a weatherman or weatherwoman. How many days a week do you go to work?
I go to work, it would be 5 days a week. I have 2 off days, Mondays and Tuesdays, so I even work on the weekends. Now,
if Cassie were a real professional, she would tell you that she never goes to work. She loves her job, and this is not like work, so you have no idea. And then the last question, question 7, what is your favorite sport or favorite team?
My favorite sport? Well, I'm not a big fan of sports, but if I had to choose one, it would be college basketball. I like the Louisville Cardinals from my hometown, so I like to watch them play basketball.
Well, that's meteorologist Cassie Hyder hanging out for the 4th grade class. So be good in my mom's class, behave yourselves, be quiet when she says to be quiet, and study hard, and then maybe one day you could be Cassie. If you don't study hard, you're going to end up being me, and nobody wants that. Thanks, guys. We'll see you later.